Welcome to this week's Movie Math, where Tom Cruise was finally able to orchestrate a career comeback. Much like Brad Pitt with World War Z, Cruise demonstrated that a blockbuster franchise is still a movie star's best friend. And Mission Impossible does seem to be the spine of Cruise's career. While Cruise was certainly a box office heavyweight prior to accepting his first mission in 1996, this franchise has now spanned half his career and served as a lifeline during times of crisis, when his personal life seemed in jeopardy of derailing his professional one. Indeed, Paramount even threatened to replace him as the lead post-Ghost Protocol with Jeremy Renner, but Cruise has not only managed to maintain his grip on the franchise, but has now taken it to new heights, primarily overseas, where Cruise is as big a star as he ever was. But while Mission Impossible 5 couldn't quite best Mission Impossible 2 for the franchise's best domestic debut to date, it was still a stellar return to form for Cruise, easily eclipsing his recent moderate debuts with Edge of Tomorrow, Oblivion, and Night and Day. It also just made it into the top 10 debuts of the year overall, right behind Ant-Man, although both will surely be pushed out by the end of the year after the holiday tentpoles hit. Back to Paramount, this makes Cruise a valuable asset to the studio once more, as they've had a very weak slate this year, with the exception of SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water. The rest of the year doesn't look much better for Paramount, with only one notable contender left, the Will Ferrell-Mark Wahlberg comedy Daddy's Home, set to open Christmas Day. Cruise already made it clear that he's moving full steam ahead on Mission Impossible 6, and will surely get Paramount's full support after this debut. And Cruise isn't the only one who will benefit from this boffo debut, with Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, and writer-director Christopher McQuarrie likely to get plenty of offers in the next few weeks. It's worth noting that Pegg is currently scripting and starring in Star Trek Beyond, also for Paramount. Could Pegg suddenly find himself becoming an in-house talent for the studio as well? Then the real comedy with Vacation is off-screen, as Sony and now Marvel's Spider-Man continues to be a comedy of errors. Warner Brothers swore that test screenings for the comedy were through the roof, and so Sony and Kevin Feige signed writer-directors John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein to script the new Spider-Man movie as a result. Well, it now seems they've been swindled, as Vacation turned out to be as big a disaster as the Griswolds' on-screen Vacation. While it was able to claim the number 2 spot, the Ed Helms' Christina Applegate starrer only opened with about $15 million, a far cry from pretty much every other comedy this year. Get Hard, Ted 2, Trainwreck, Spy, and even Pixels and Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 all fared much better at the box office. Helms and Applegate really don't have movie careers to begin with, so again, the focus here falls squarely on Daley and Goldstein's Marvel deal. Looks like Phil Lord and Chris Miller aren't so easy to duplicate after all, Hollywood. Should Feige and Sony try to get out of their deal, or let it ride? And maybe, just maybe, this was all an elaborate, brilliant plan by competitor Warner Brothers to sabotage the MCU. As for the rest of the box office, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation made quick work of the other action movies at the multiplex. Ant-Man fell about 50% in its third week, while worldwide it's about to pass $300 million. Can Paul Rudd and company pull in that extra $100 million needed to put them in good standing with the rest of the Marvel lineup? My Netflix idea keeps looking better and better. Then Jurassic World also fell another 50% and almost out of the top 10 in what's been a spectacular record-breaking run. But Paper Towns looks a tad shy of spectacular, as the John Green adaptation fell over 60% in its second weekend. There goes any hope of word of mouth keeping it afloat, and surely industry insiders will wonder if Cara Delevingne's bad girl behavior on a local television news show, which went viral, contributed to Paper Town's second weekend implosion. Inside Out had the lowest drop in the top 10, yet worldwide is still trailing Minions pretty badly. Finally, while Comic-Con fans are none too pleased with Jesse Eisenberg these days, he had an excellent showing in the specialty market. The End of Tour, which co-stars Jason Segel, had a very solid per-theater average in its debut. If American Ultra can have a similarly solid debut later this month, the producers of Batman v Superman and Now You See Me Too will be able to sleep a little easier. As for this coming weekend, all eyes are on the Fantastic Four reboot, which is expected to debut in line with other recent Fox Marvel movies. Meryl Streep should flex some star power herself with a semi-wide release for Ricki and the Flash, while it seems Jason Bateman, Joel Edgerton, and Rebecca Hall have less star power than a bunch of claymation sheep. And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope we'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.